extraterrestrials. Nordic, the tall white extraterrestrials. Nordic, the tall white extraterrestrials. Nordic, tall white, Nordic, tall white, Nordic.
UFO disclosure. UFO craft and bodies. UFO disclosure. UFO craft and bodies. UFO disclosure. UFO craft and bodies. UFO disclosure. UFO craft and bodies.
People who might not buy everything you're saying, who are skeptics, have said over and over again, he has no first-hand knowledge. He has no first-hand knowledge. Maybe we shouldn't believe you. When you say you have first-hand knowledge, maybe we shouldn't believe you.
Legally, the fact that we're not alone. We've recovered material and we've recovered documents. And beyond that, the fact that we're not alone. We've recovered material and we've recovered documents. And beyond that, ontologically shocking but also uniting. Any evidence. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Any evidence. I'm an intel guy. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Any evidence. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Any evidence. I'm an intel guy. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Daniel P. Sheehan, classified. Crash retrieval operation. Psychological phenomenon. Crash retrieval operation. Psychological phenomenon.
The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency.
For the masses. Says ontologically shocking but also uniting. Saying yes. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Saying yes. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Saying yes. Ontologically shocking but also uniting. Death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency. The death of UFO transparency.
Greetings and salutations and welcome back, friends. One moment, let me just make sure I tweet out here that we are live now. Before we begin tonight's presentation, I have a lot of information to share with you. A lot of information that may be disturbing to some viewers, including some courtroom testimony and things about certain members of the so-called disclosure community, including the show host from Disclosure Tonight, Thomas Fessler, who you may recall sort of threatened my YouTube channel due to my son being in some of the bumpers, telling people that was illegal and he would get my channel taken down. Yeah, that wasn't the case. And then, of course, from that same show, there was Rob Heatherly, who had a public YouTube playlist called Sexy Dance Time in which hundreds of videos of 8 and 10-year-old girls were dancing in his playlist. These are just some of the people from this UFO hate group. Rob Heatherly claimed he did not dox me, but he did release my legal name and the street name in which I lived on. I still have the screenshots, Rob Heatherly. So I guess technically he didn't give anybody my address, but if you Googled those two things he did release, the first Google search result is my home address. I have been threatened, intimidated, harassed, all in an attempt by sycophants, by psychopaths and sociopaths willing to literally break the law to help their dear cult leader. And it's important that we put on the record that I'm going to call tonight's entire broadcast an opinion piece. I have a great deal of evidence that I can share with you, but I've decided that I'm going to talk about my conclusions based on my own personal experience, being just one of the victims of this UFO hate group. And it's important that we recognize and understand that all of these people who harassed people, doxed people, threatened people, intimidated people, were all doing so in defense of the fake Pentagon UFO program director, who is a scumbag. Lue Elizondo, it's an opinion piece tonight. In my opinion, Lue Elizondo is a bottom-feeding scumbag. A bottom-feeding, lying, grifting, con artist scumbag. That's my opinion based on available evidence. And I'm entitled to have that opinion. And no one is entitled to threaten me, my children, my family, my home, in order to stop me from exercising my constitutional rights to free speech, to say that, in my opinion, Lue Elizondo is a bottom-feeding, UFO profiteering, grifting, lying scumbag. Where's the money from TTSA, Lue Elizondo? Why won't you give a real interview, you pussy? Lue Elizondo is a pussy. He's not willing to give a real interview, because anybody that's familiar with his history would start asking very inconvenient questions like, why did you lie to the New York Times saying that you ran a $22 million funded UFO program that you never ran? What happened to all the TTSA investors' money? Millions of dollars by some accounts were collected. How much of that money did you get? Mr. I've done all this for free for years. So Lue Elizondo has sort of re-triggered a lot of anger among the victims of this UFO hate group because of his hypocrisy. Lue Elizondo is saying that harassment and threatening people and doxing people should never be tolerated. The guy literally used the fake account Faceless Bureaucrat, and I believe as well as others, to threaten, intimidate, and harass his online critics, belittle people who were speaking negatively about him. That's the kind of pussy he is. Like, let me get behind my fake Twitter account and give them a piece of my mind. Mr. Military, right? My God. And, I just think it's pretty funny because this guy's also like 4 foot tall. Like, he's a big tough guy behind a computer keyboard with a fake Twitter account, but he's literally like 4 foot tall. Yeah. Great. So first I will share, before we get into the wonderful information I have to share about Disclosure tonight and their primary show host being apparently or allegedly a wife-beating scumbag, right? These are Lue Elizondo's big supporters. Hey, Lue Elizondo, why are all of your big defenders and supporters complete and total scumbags? But birds of a feather, right? Scumbags are going to attract other scumbags. Oh, this is the crazy world that I find myself in, where you're not allowed to tell people the truth because that goes against the cult. And if you tell people the truth, then you're an enemy of disclosure. No, I'm an enemy of bullshit. That's who I am. So first I'm going to share what Lue Elizondo said, and then we're going to get into some of the particulars of why this is just a public relations move. Remember, I said tonight's an opinion piece. In my opinion, he's trying to get out ahead because people are starting in spaces to spill the beans about what a scumbag Lue Elizondo is and how he manipulates people and how he does, some people say, encourage people to go after his critics. It's wonderful. But let's get, first I have to change the background here. One moment. And we'll put that down and we'll put our fair use banner up. This is a transformative work. So anything I'm sharing tonight, I'm sharing under fair use in order to educate the public about grifting UFO profiteering scumbags and the hateful idiots that they employ to shut up critics who are ruining the grift, right? Hey, listen, if you're going to tell people the truth that Lue Elizondo never ran a Pentagon UFO program, that's cutting into his wallet. That's messing up his grift, because his grift is lying to people, claiming that he ran a government Pentagon UFO program that he never ran. And by the way, oh man, even some of his closest supporters and people who have threatened and intimidated and harassed his critics are now turning on the fake Pentagon UFO program director. Karma always comes, Mr. Elizondo. Where were you when people were in my live chat threatening my wife with your drivel? Like, oh, we can't accept any form of this harassment. Lue Elizondo, in my opinion, he rewarded the Disclosure Tonight loser scumbags who I believe were the people behind the fake accounts coming in my live chat, threatening my wife and children by their names. And what does Lue Elizondo do? He went on their show right after that happened. And I'm entitled to my opinion. And in my opinion, he directed that. Not only do I believe, and I'm entitled to my belief, that he directed that, but I believe that he went on their show right after that to reward them for following the orders of a cult-leading, UFO profiteering, lying, grifting, scamming scumbag. All right. So let's get to the tweet that has everybody so up in arms, quite honestly, including me, because this has brought all that history of that stuff back. And how dare he say this shit years after so many people were threatened, intimidated, doxxed, harassed into silence. And Lue Elizondo, this is how weak you are. You are a weakling. You are a half a man. And not just because you're 4 feet tall, you little fucking dwarf asshole. Not just because you're 4 feet tall. You are half a man because you're such an intellectual weakling and such a coward that you have to send all these psychopaths to shut down any talk that would get in the way of the UFO dollars you're trying to stuff into your pockets as fast as you can since 2017. And what have you brought us? Nothing. You've brought us exactly zero evidence of all of your claims and all of your bullshit. There's literally thousands of hours of you talking on the internet about aliens and UFOs. What is the evidence that you have brought us? Zero. Zero. A great big zero. That's what you brought us. Half a man, dwarfling, 4 foot tall, intellectual weakling, coward. Pretty sure his dick is this big too. All right. You know what? I apologize. I'm going to try to stop letting this get so personal. But, you know, when people threaten your wife and children and dox you because you're telling people the truth, by the way, they weren't doing that because I was lying to people, right? Or they could just dispute the lies I was telling. No, they were doing that because I was telling people the truth. So Lue Elizondo has me blocked because he's an intellectual weakling and a coward, and he doesn't want his fans seeing the questions I would ask, like, hey, where's that TTSA? Millions of dollars you and your buddies collected, scumbag. you scumbag. This scumbag collected millions of dollars with his buddies, promising people that we may have pieces of alien spaceships. Turned out to be a missile casing. Pieces of a missile casing. Oh, we're going to build a spaceship with a revolutionary power source that will change the world. Where's the spaceship? What happened to the millions of dollars, Lou? But in any case, let's get to the tweets. This guy has me fired up. To both my friends and haters, we can agree to disagree, but the threat of violence and harassment is not acceptable on any level. Was it acceptable when you were going on the shows of the people who were threatening and harassing people? Contrary to conspiracy theories, I don't condone this behavior directed at anyone. There's people in spaces saying otherwise, Lue Elizondo. There's witnesses to that claim, including Gary from that Disclosure Tonight scumbag show, who claim that you did direct this, right? I don't condone this behavior directed at anyone. And here's where it gets interesting, and this also has enraged many people. If disclosure fails, it's because this community has eaten itself. No, if disclosure fails, it will be because UFO grifting scumbags like you have collected millions of dollars and shown exactly zero evidence or proof of your claims, okay? If disclosure fails, it would be because you are a profit-driven, evidence-free, storytelling bullshit artist scumbag who has collected millions of dollars out of the UFO community and provided exactly zero evidence of your claims. Of course, you've made many claims like, oh, we might have spaceship parts with TTSA. Oh, that turned out to be a missile casing, right? Ordinary earthly objects. Did you give all the money back that you collected under false pretenses? You 4-foot-tall grifting scumbag, right? Did you? Oh, no, you didn't give any of the money back. But hey, don't worry because, the laws around this kind of consumer fraud are very vague and hard to enforce. That's the only reason I think that he hasn't faced any consequences for lying to the public under false pretenses for years. His own book has a lie right on the cover of it. So if you go to a bookstore and you see the book, he's lying to you right on the cover of the book because he wants you to buy the book. So ridiculous. Okay, so I don't condone this behavior directed at anyone. Really? You don't condone this behavior? What about the sock puppet accounts? By the way, I have all the faceless bureaucrat account tweets and attacks on the critics. So I ask all of you, please engage in healthy discourse and don't allow emotions to dictate actions on all sides. Well, it's a little too late for that. It's a little too late to ask everybody to sing, sit around a campfire and sit in a kumbaya, circle together around a campfire and sing kumbaya and all come together. Do you think that people might get emotional or might take it personally when people that are fans of yours attack people's children, attack people's wives, threaten people, put their address out there and encourage people to go to their homes and harm them? Do you think maybe, just maybe, that may be the case? So interestingly, Lue Elizondo is here saying, oh, I don't condone this kind of behavior. I don't condone this. Okay, you don't condone it, but why are you hanging out with serial harassers? He's literally saying, I don't condone this behavior, while he is hanging out with serial harassers. So, one second. Just wanted to find the, I wanted to find this, well, here is, I'm going to share this. So Lue Elizondo recently hanging out with uplifting tweets. And what is the function of uplifting tweets? And Lue Elizondo says to him, thanks for all you do. All uplifting tweets does, well, I'm sure he does other things. All he does is harass and make fun of and try to threaten and intimidate Lue Elizondo's critics into silence. Is that what you're thanking him for, Lue Elizondo? You know, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, I don't condone this form of harassment. But here I am hanging out with a serial harasser. It makes absolutely no sense. So which is it? Do you not condone this form of harassment? Because if you didn't condone this form of harassment, you wouldn't be hanging out at Busch Gardens with the guy who is a serial harasser, would you? Does that make sense to say, I don't condone this, but I'm going to keep hanging out with this guy? And by the way, according to people in Spaces, I think UFO Mike, at least, you've been hanging out with him for a long time every so often at Busch Gardens, right? And you're thanking a serial harasser for all that he does. And here we see some examples of all that harassment, all directed against people who are critical of Lue Elizondo. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence that he put this tweet out, that he doesn't condone this harassment. Yeah. And Little Pop Tar says, take a shot every time they harass a single mother. Arms Embargo says, I'm a middle-aged man who spends my time making mean memes of people who don't believe in my alien prophet hero, Lue Elizondo. Right? It's amazing. Yeah, and I think, I'm not sure, but I think that one on the bottom may be an image of one of Lue Elizondo's critics butt banging a goat, right? And this is funny to you, Lue Elizondo? Is this funny that this clown that you're hanging out with at Busch Gardens is you know, oh, let's all make memes of Lue Elizondo's critics butt banging goats? And by the way, just in full disclosure, pardon the pun, this asshole uplifting tweets made an image depicting sexual violence against me. Is that funny? Is that acceptable? You're hanging out with a guy who's showing people memes of your critics banging goats or getting butt banged themselves. Is that funny, Lue Elizondo? You little weasel. You little weasel of a man. Lue Elizondo is a weasel. But we're not going to let him weasel out of this hypocrisy. Dude, you can't say, I don't condone this kind of behavior and then reward the serial harassers that you're hanging around with, right? And what about Good Trouble Show? You see, this is the way this works. And remember, this is an opinion piece. I'm allowed to express my opinion. Lue Elizondo rewards the serial harassers who harass his critics with media appearances. If you're a show host and you attack Lue's critics, he's going to come on your show. And we've seen that with the Disclosure Tonight scumbags. After they started harassing Manny from Area 503 and me for talking about Lue Elizondo being a fraud and a liar, after they started harassing us two, Lue Elizondo went on their show again. And in my opinion, he did that to thank them for their excellent work, threatening and intimidating and harassing his critics into silence. Great job, guys. I'll come on the show again. You scumbags. You're all these people that we're talking about tonight are scumbags. And I know that because the research is clear. If you beat your wife, were physically violent with coworkers, threatened people, acted like a psychopath, and then abandoned your wife and child so that you can move your gay boy toy lover in your home and throw your wife and child out, then you're a piece of shit and a scumbag. And this is the quality of people that are fans of Lue Elizondo. So recently, somebody released quite an interesting video about Thomas Fessler from the Disclosure Tonight show, who was one of the people encouraging people to threaten, intimidate, and harass fans of Lue Elizondo. And what I will say is that I hope he got counseling. I hope that, he's not a danger to himself or anybody around him. But these are very troubling allegations that were made against him by his wife, by his one-time sister-in-law, by coworkers that were in his employment. It's very disturbing what I'm about to share with you, but this is a transformative work. We're educating the public. We're critiquing the videos. And I want to show you what kind of scumbags are in this UFO hate group that are harassing people and encouraging people to go after them. That's what Fessler said. Anybody that speaks bad about Lue, we got to go after them. We got to shut them down. Well, you didn't shut me down. You didn't shut me up. And by the way, tonight I was supposed to have a few guests who backed out. And one of them said to me, I don't want to talk about this again, because every time I talk about it, they start harassing me again. Now, I'm sure that people will start, we'll get the nameless, faceless coward accounts that may be Lue Elizondo or some of his other psychopath, scumbag, dirtbag followers that are wife beaters and like to watch 8-year-old girls dancing on YouTube. Those kind of people with their fake accounts may come after me. I don't care. What are you going to do? Keyboard warrior, right? So let's hear more about the quality of the supporters of Lue Elizondo from this video called Tommy the Terror. And this is a public YouTube video. I'm a bad show host tonight, but I'll put it in the description of the video when the broadcast concludes so anybody can see this information. And by the way, there's a website where all of the court documents for what is shown here are displayed. So don't anybody ask me for receipts. The receipts are there. This is true, real, and accurate information about Thomas Fessler from Disclosure Tonight.
Trying to go ahead and tear down some of those negative elements and things that are out there where people who are part of the community should be part of the community. And more importantly, if they are, it's better for the people to know who they're truly supporting. It's great to have you here.
That was great editing. It's good for the people to know who they are truly supporting. So if you're dumb enough to be watching this Disclosure Tonight clown, you deserve to know who you're supporting. Yeah.
Thomas has been impatient and verbally abusive throughout our marriage. He is the kind of person who always has to be right. If he is challenged, or if he becomes frustrated, he has fits or tantrums where he will scream and yell and oftentimes will throw whatever he is holding, usually a coffee cup or a wine glass. Thomas has changed over the past 3 years, becoming more frightening when he is angry.
My name is Peter, and I worked at Handheld Games from May 2002 to July of 2009. I am writing down the most memorable things I have witnessed Tom do while I was there, which showcases his temper. As long as I can remember, Tom had always been a very, it's my way or it's the highway type of person, and would often have temper tantrums when things did not go his way. This would sometimes escalate into becoming verbally and/or physically abusive toward his employees. During fits of rages, he has thrown things and slammed doors with such force, flakes of crud would fall from the ceiling.
That's physical abuse.
I had to flee from our home on Saturday, March 13, 2010, because I was afraid that Thomas was going to seriously hurt me if I did not get out of the house.
Wow.
He was very angry because he had learned that we are out of money, and he blamed me. I had seen that anger before, and I did not want to get hurt again.
I have personally witnessed the aftermath of the following. Tom throwing pocket change at a car, which he felt came too close, and almost hitting him while he was walking across a pedestrian crossing.
Wow. Talk about a psycho.
Tom throwing a quarter at the head of the programmer Jonathan because he thought the programmer was goofing off and surfing the web when in fact he was searching online for a solution to the work task.
Nice. Physically
Tom
violent.
throwing a quarter at the head of programmer
Physically violent with
because
employees.
Tom did not believe Matt was being industrious enough while the program he was working on was compiling. Tom throwing his coffee mug down the hallway, stopping short of hitting artist Ryan. Tom randomly flinging hardcover Dr. Seuss books within a 4-foot radius of then-pregnant artist Sherilyn. Verbally threatened to body slam Tools programmer Matt Allen after a disagreement over the course of action needed to remedy pregnant women. Issue.
Nice.
With each outbreak, friends, family, and the directors of the company would point out that under no circumstances would this behavior be seen as acceptable, especially as the head of the company. For a short while, there seemed to be improvement. However, this was short-lived as Tom seemed to revert back to this type of behavior when his stress level rose.
Nice.
It is very disappointing that even with all our efforts, we were unable to condition Tom to break this cyclic behavior.
I was playing cards with his 78-year-old mother and my sister. His mother kept cheating, and I reminded her that she was only supposed to pick up 1 card and not 2. This enraged her, and she stood up and called me a fucking bitch. I had been tolerating her during her visit and holding my tongue, but when she said that, I replied, quote, "I am not the one who is a fucking bitch," end quote. Thomas became furious and screamed at me to shut up as he came flying across the room and grabbed me by the throat and kicked me. He threw me up against the fireplace and was choking me.
I was an employee of Handheld Games for a period of 3 years and 4 months between the times of September 1st, 2005 and December 31st, 2008. My title while an employee put me in a position where I had to have multiple daily interactions with Thomas. During the tenure of my 3+ years, I personally witnessed Thomas being both verbally and threatening physical abuse to his employees.
Wow.
This extended to a location outside of the company on a designated afternoon office break.
All I can say is wow, and that I guess it's no surprise that this is one of the people that were threatening people that were critical of Lue Elizondo. Like, this guy's got a history of threatening people with violence, of being violent, of being verbally abusive to people when he doesn't get his way. And his way is aliens are visiting Earth. And God damn it, if you say they're not, I'm going to threaten you and dox you and tell people to go after you. This is a shit show, clown show, this whole thing.
To my knowledge, at least once. I personally have witnessed Thomas throw a 16-ounce coffee mug against a door, open and slam said door, causing damage to the building walls, while continuing to yell at the employees that caused him to behave in this fashion. 2 years prior, he threw a golden book across a room of employees while screaming more expletives. Thomas, based on his actions at Handheld Games, was considered by multiple employees to be both culturally, racially, and in a lot of ways sexually insensitive.
As stated above, Thomas has always been impatient and verbally abusive with me and our daughter, and all of our employees too.
Quality show host.
A very recent example of his disposition occurred a day or two before we left the house. My daughter and I were watching TV together when we heard Thomas screaming and yelling at his computer all the way upstairs. He was crazy and very frightening. He was yelling, shut up," at his computer. He was not angry with us, but it is frightening when he erupts into out-of-control rages for no reason at all.
I have spent a lot of time with
Thomas Fessler from Disclosure
over the years
Tonight.
that he has been married to my
Somebody's
sister.
asking who Thomas is.
I also worked at Handheld Games with Maria and Thomas. I have witnessed Thomas erupt in anger several times and witnessed him verbally and physically abuse others. He has sworn
Yes,
at
the
me in
average
past.
Chris. This is about Thomas Fessler.
When I worked
this
for
is from
Handheld
court
Games,
documents.
my office was right next to Thomas's office. One day I was working and I began to hear voices raised in Thomas's office. The next thing I know, Thomas is yelling, "Get the fuck out of my office," at the top of his lungs at the employee he had been meeting with in his office. I then saw a coffee cup fly by my window.
Yeah, some deep
Thomas had thrown his coffee cup out of his office and it broke against the
How
wall
many
across
glasses
the hall.
and coffee cups are we up to
Coffee
him throwing
splashed
at
everywhere.
people?
One time my sister and I were standing in the hallway. Tom was holding a wine glass or a drink, and he got angry and threw his glass and broke it, and then he proceeded to rage. During the outburst,
I can't say I was
he pushed
surprised
me into the
about any of
bedroom
this
door,
either.
and the impact broke the handle. My sister witnessed that incident. A similar incident occurred another time.
Wow.
Tom was angry with me, and he slammed me against the door to our bedroom while he was yelling and screaming at me.
Physically abusive to
I was
a woman.
present at Maria's house
What
when
a-
our sister from
what a
Germany was visiting.
scumbag.
Her son worked at Handheld Games. Thomas was complaining that her son's hair was too long and he thought he should get a haircut. I heard my sister screaming on the back porch where she had been discussing this issue with Tom. She was screaming, "Oh my God, he threw his glass at me." She thought she had glass in her eyes. Actually, Tom had thrown his glass toward her.
Yeah, if you hire Fessler, you gotta remove all the cups and glasses.
Her legs were cut by small shards of glass.
Wow, threw a glass at somebody and her legs got cut.
She had wine from the glass in her eyes, but no glass was in her eyes. Tom ran away to the neighbor's house next door. I declare under penalty of perjury pursuant to the laws of the state of Washington that the foregoing is true.
No, this is from the divorce proceedings.
It is clear to me now
by the way, this is all in documents.
Men since
this
he
is
returned 100% home, and that he was lying to me all along. Once I found a secret cell phone of his that had text messages from a man to Thomas, where the man was saying that he loved Thomas, etc. Thomas had a friend that he met at the gym that I had never met before, and I told him he should invite his friend for dinner. When his friend came over, I realized that this was the same man who had been text messaging Thomas on the secret cell phone.
Nice.
Lately, Thomas has been drinking daily. He has always smoked marijuana on a daily basis. He recently obtained a prescription for medical marijuana so he can justify his drug use.
People did warn everybody about this guy and how dangerous he was, right? Well, that's the quality of Lue Elizondo's army of psycho crackpot defenders that tell people to go after people that speak bad about Lue Elizondo. That's how toxic and dysfunctional this whole situation is. Lord Ludacris, I don't know if that is true. Lord Ludacris says he also takes pain pills. I don't know if that is true, but some of the other documents seem to suggest that he may be suffering from, let's just say, an HIV-related illness. So who knows, what kind of medication he will be taking. And I see Average Chris was in the live chat earlier today. I sent him a link to the. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's go back to this account on Twitter, which documents all of the Lue Elizondo hate group stuff. And let me see, what is it that I want to share? Oh, Jeremy McGowan, who was another victim of this hate group, besides me, Area 503, Lou Jimenez, many other people that I'm sure I'm forgetting, Chupacabra, Red Panda Koala, Go Kicks Rocks, anybody that says anything at all derogatory, they get the Lue Elizondo psychopaths coming after them. And here's Gary, right? And this is LM, who's another person that worked for this scumbag Thomas Fessler, who we just heard all about. Yeah.
You said before previously that for Jeremy McGowan, right? And everyone should go read those Jeremy McGowan articles. But basically, he was a problem for Lou, right? And that Disclosure Mike was illegally accessing police databases to find dirt specifically to discredit McGowan. And so they looked into basically the criminal records of everyone around him until they found one contractor that he had used for a project.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I got sucked into that as well. So they're basically illegally using people who may have access to police databases to look up dirt on people. And if they don't find dirt on the people that they're attacking, they start looking at all their business contacts, their family, their friends, until they can find something to try to discredit that person. And to this day, King Milkfart and many others still use this so-called gotcha about Jeremy McGowan, who, by the way, is a good family man. He and I certainly disagree on certain things. I'm a second chance person, but not when it comes to certain things. He is a second chance person, but whatever. They went and looked into all of his business dealings, all of his contacts, until they found one person with criminal activity in his background that they could use to smear him with. And this is a whistleblower from the Disclosure Tonight show admitting that this is what they did.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And it wasn't just McGowan. It was Hogg. It was Jason Sands and David Grush. It wasn't just McGowan.
You guys see how serious this is?
Yeah, it's pretty serious. Going after all these people.
So
digging for dirt.
McGowan was just one of the people that was looked into.
And I know this before anybody that jumps up and says, "How do you know this?" I know it because he asked me specifically to use resources to look into it. Resources that he didn't have, that were outside the purview of what we would consider fair. He wanted inside information, and he was specific.
Yeah, think about how many people they looked into before landing
and
there.
how he wanted to talk about, and how he.
Because I'm hoping for clarification, because it's all so stunning, and I am really hoping to get clarification on what LM is stating and making sure that I and everybody in this room understand that what is being implicated here is criminal on a federal level. Let me get this right. You were, because what I'm hearing is that you were solicited and threatened and manipulated into trying to use your access to governmental databases to dig up dirt on not only, let's start with David Grush and who else? No, Sands. It was Sands, right?
Jason Sands.
It was Sands and Hogg and Grush and
McGowan.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. So
yeah, I agree.
Some
of these people are just bonkers.
So yes, I was asked to dig up that information to do that
and manipulated into doing it.
That's really stunning.
This is well outside the scope of what any local police department can support. Do you guys realize that? So I mean,
somebody could get fired.
Meeting the attorney general's office.
And I want to make clear that
they're allowed to use police databases for this personal stuff
or read. I was asked to look into these specific potential, and I want to make that very clear. Okay, never asked, never did, and by the way, I never looked into the people that they asked me to look into because I knew it. I knew that this was malfeasance.
Was there any repercussion
for
that? Like, did they treat you differently?
Well, I just want to go on the record. So I'm telling you guys.
I agree.
I was asked to do
Jason
this
Sands is
on the
end.
record, and I'm telling you, I never did, and I never gave them that information.
Yeah,
hence why you're on the outs of that little group. Thank you. I salute you and applaud you for your integrity in that. But basically, they're doing it against somebody that potentially holds a whistleblower protection. Right? I mean, Sands potentially holds a whistleblower protection status. He is coming out in this new film by Fox, right?
I was requested to look into him and doubled down on not just by Mike, but Thomas Fessler.
Oh, look at that. Thomas Fessler is requesting that people
actually get that information
go and dig up dirt on people.
Access.
What a scumbag.
She's not
Fister.
going to do that.
You are a scumbag, bro.
Now,
not just because you're abusive to women.
Do that too, specifically?
No. Mike and Thomas did. And so I want to make very clear.
I think that's true,
access, which I don't.
There's a munchkin in the Wizard of Oz.
Maybe I would have acted differently, but that's not reality. Right. The point is that I talked to my wife about it and I said, hey, can we look into this? And she looked at me and she said, I am not going to entertain your hobby and I am not going to risk my viability within my profession to do that.
Yeah, it's very important.
You can go do that. You can have that, but we're not going to be a part of that. And I looked at her and I said, "You're absolutely right. No,
that's when it hit you, right? I bet around that time.
Police resources.
Exactly.
Personal reasons is a felony in most jurisdictions. Says Garazi. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds like it could be.
I don't know. So I'm leaving.
Well, they get you caught up, right? Everyone's so spun up, and the information's framed for you in a specific way where you don't think it's bad, but when you get a little bit of cold water on your face and you take a fresh look at it, you're like, oh shit, this is actually bad.
And then my wife brought me the cold water dosage where it was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, we're not. And
women are always the voice of reason. They'll keep you out of trouble if you have a good one.
Explaining exactly why
his wife kept him out of trouble.
go further down that road, and
doing
exactly
this could have
why.
been a felony,
And it's
according to
very
some people in the live chat.
as a
I'm not a law
result, after the
enforcement
truth
officer.
has
I don't
come
know if
out,
that's the case, but it sounds
Thomas
likely.
Fessler threatened my
Whoa.
wife and her judgeship and said it would be a shame if these things came to light.
Wow. Thomas Fessler threatened his wife.
Just admitted that you asked me to ask her, which proves the point that I'm saying. And you just threatened
Pretty
my wife.
ballsy to threaten a judge. Pretty ballsy to do it in writing. Pretty stupid.
Well, he's dumb as shit. Thomas Fessler's dumb as shit. He threatened a judge in writing. Nice guy too, right? How many women has he threatened? Somebody came in the live chat after he said go after everybody, right? And then we have a clip here I wanted to share. More clips from King Milkfart Harassment Archive.
Look, I don't know Lue Elizondo in any way, and I can't speak to any of these grievances that these people are having, but or you're having, or the other guys on the other side that are pissed off that you guys are having grievances. But like, if you look at life as sit.
Darcy's
if you look at life as like, no.
Dog knows. The dogs always know.
Dog is fucking me up here. Sorry. If you look at life as somewhat a little bit different from high school after you leave high school, you know, there's people you're going to meet in high school and you're going to see them later on in life. And yeah, they could have crushed it in business or made a bunch of dumb UFO documentaries. But they're still the same people, right? So you get people that you meet in like high school, like Lue Elizondo, right? That goes from being a high school student to doing counterintelligence stuff and then talking about UFOs. And, you know, probably in high school, you wouldn't want to fuck with him either. And he might get vengeance on you if you fuck with him, right? And like,
how do you think Lue Elizondo is going to get vengeance on me, Darcy Weir?
No, I'm not. No. Don't misconstrue that. I'm not saying. I'm saying, dude. I'm not saying you. I'm saying. My dog's biting my hand. I'm literally saying.
The dogs know. The dogs know.
The dogs know.
I'm gonna snuggle the dog.
He's kind of like a mix between a Labradoodle and a Jack Russell. So he's really weird. Okay. No. Let me just finish what I'm saying. Sorry. What I'm saying is, like, are you surprised that people have a certain type of human nature? I'm not dismissing or accusing Lue of actually carrying out attacks on his detractors or whatever, but you see it all the time.
Can tell
like everybody,
emotional state,
you know, kind of acts like this. So I'm not. All I'm saying is, like, if you know for sure that this guy went after people that were fucking with him, and you think he's like a COINTEL guy, I'm just curious, like, if there's anywhere in your head that you would like forgive him or just like see him as a human being.
Yes, it does. It says, "Ask me about my butthole."
All right, it's beautiful delivery, Darcy.
From a viewer,
and I love.
Thanks to the viewer who sent me the shirt from the Roswell Festival.
And Lou, I know you're probably going to listen to this. Yeah, I think you might have fucked up along the way. Maybe your feelings got hurt, and you enlisted the help of some mentally unstable people to kind of put onto your critics what you felt they were doing to you, right? Maybe they were being too critical of your resume or whatever, and you're going to find whatever dirt you can out about them. I just think this mechanism you got has just evolved into really just out of control and really horrible behavior that's only looking back.
Yeah, it's only looking bad for Lou, this kind of behavior. This is the kind of man he is. Like, I don't know, man. I had a very good example as a father who taught me there's some things you don't do as a man, and one of them is threaten women, right? Let me share another clip from this Harassment Archive. Somebody in the live chat said thank you to them for documenting.
I don't know, Lou.
Let me get this one here.
You said before previously that like for Jeremy McGowan, right? And everyone should go read those Jeremy McGowan articles.
Why am I getting wrong audio?
All just fabricated.
Oh, 1 second.
Basically, he was a problem for Lou, right? And that Disclosure Mike was illegally accessing police databases
1 second.
to find dirt specifically to discredit McGowan. And so they looked into like basically the criminal records of everyone around him until they found
1 second. Oh, because the other one is playing. That's why. All right, I figured it out. I apologize for the audio glitches. Let's get to this one here. This is, I think, important. Lue Elizondo owned them.
What do we say?
I just want to hop in real quick because I'm cooking dinner for my family. I want to share that all the shit that you're hearing, everyone in here, everything you're hearing is bullshit. It's all just fabricated crap because they all hate Lou and they all hate.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I am what you would consider part of this hate group that they call it, and I can tell you it's all false. Every
What's
bit
fabricated?
of it. We are all fucking pissants in relation to how big this topic is. And none of this shit fucking matters.
That sounds like a Kool-Aid drinking cult member.
Motherfuckers, because KMF owned them. Gary Nolan owned them. Lue Elizondo fucking owned them.
Yeah, they owned them, right? Owned them, but have no evidence.
So suck a dick. I'm going to go celebrate this refollow.
Go have fun. Go have fun.
How'd you enjoy, bro?
I'll show you some of the unhinged lunatics.
I agree with uplifting.
Lue Elizondo owned me. How so? I never had contact with the guy. That's interesting.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have another one where Crypto Mike, Disclosure Mike, told Sawan to go after David Grush. So, you know, this is it's just like never ending. I think somebody's got to get criminally prosecuted or this stuff will never end.
Crypto Mike, Disclosure Mike told Sawan to go after David Grush.
I got a question for Swan. Why did you go against Grush early on before he went public? Someone told you that he was a disinfo agent. Who told you he was a disinfo agent?
First of all, then that's why I stopped following Mike, because Mike tried to put me on to oust Grush because Grush
Not me, Mike.
Okay, which Mike?
Which Mike are you talking about, Swan?
And this is a person who said we had to flush Grush out like a cockroach. The Sawan psycho.
Must be it. The same Disclosure Mike that found out all that random info that was never validated about that one McGowan dude when Milfar was taking down McGowan.
Welcome in, Mike. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming in.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, Thomas.
Thomas deleted this episode.
Go ahead.
They're using you, right? There's a reason why Mike isn't the one doing it, Swan. There's a reason he's asking you to do it, Swan.
People have said that,
Yeah,
Jason.
they didn't even load their guns, fam. They just got you out there in the wind, bro. It's fucking sad, honestly.
It's actually
This is
sad. Like, we literally care about these fucking people more than the people using them, and that they're in here, like, defending.
Well, that's interesting. All right. I got a few more of these that I thought we should talk about and share. 1 second. I'm kind of losing my place. Yeah. One second. This one I have to cue because there was some copyrighted music that I have to cue past. You people who make this stuff, I love you, but please use uncopyrighted music. We don't get a copyright claim. All right, let's listen. And this is about uplifting tweets and all of the stuff that he has done to people, including attacking people's wives, children, families. You know, this is how toxic these people in this UFO hate group going after Lue Elizondo critics can be.
Is witness to this.
People that's feeding King Milk Fart information.
I'm guilty. Hand raised right now. You can't see it, but Lou had a random post. I don't even remember what the fuck it was, but King Milk first said, "Lou Papa or Papa Lou, please follow me." You know, and he did. He was like, "Okay, yeah, why not?" And then Joe said something like, "Thank you, Papa. Like my day has been made."
Yeah, and this uplifting tweets guy, he made memes making fun of people's wives that were critical of Lue Elizondo. He made memes making fun of people's girlfriends and families. This is how toxic it gets.
Lou's response was, "Love the beach scene." So Red Panda's asking, why would he like that beach scene? It implicates him. Well, first of all, there's a lot of shit on there that relates to Lou. Okay, you got the Felon 2, 503, who's a complete fucking felon we know about, and 5x5 are in the background wearing orange jumpsuits, like they just got out of prison. So they personally attacked Lou, so I can't imagine a scenario where Lou wouldn't find that fucking beach scene funny. Also, you have UCR, a grave for UCR. Come on. McGowan's vehicle getting blown up by motherfucking Dietrich. That, I'm sorry, I don't like to talk about
putting a graveyard for a show host, or putting a grave marker for a show host who is critical of Lue Elizondo. Very, very toxic.
I think all of this sucks, to be honest with you. But that one, for Lou, I do not blame him for at least getting a chuckle out of it. But those guys are so classy, man. They don't fucking comment on these things, lowbrow memes that I make. They don't give a fuck. That's the only time he's ever mentioned any kind of response to a meme. And you've got Red Panda going absolutely fucking nuts on, like, oh my God, holy shit, this man that is the reason why my American Alchemy episode was taken down has done something I don't like. Let me call it out.
Oh, he's the reason. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, well, you made it very clear. I actually have a screenshot of it. He said, someone that was on the episode other than me is the reason why I was taken down. I really don't give a fuck. But let's answer number 2.
Please post it, because I don't recall that at all.
I haven't, and I may if I feel like it.
So that's interesting. Lue Elizondo is getting people's content taken down who he disagrees with, which is a cardinal sin of any content creator. You don't attack somebody's channel or their videos because you disagree with them. That would be a move of a pussy.
Not worth it, but I will answer your other question about my shop. The reason why I took it down, number one, is because back when I decided to do that, you guys were dealing with these fucking lunatics that are posting pictures of guns and shit. And to be quite honest with you, I don't really give a fuck about any kind of doxing and whatnot. People know who I am here. At least hundreds of people on Twitter know who I am. And if you bought something from my store, it'd tell you my name, my address, all that shit. And if you think you'd want to keep a store up when you got lunatics like these.
Oh, that's great. So Uplifting Tweets, who spends all of his time and energy harassing people and trying to threaten and intimidate them into silence, supporting doxer scumbags like, the Fister Squad and King Milkfard and all these other people that are harassing people. He supports all them, but he doesn't want anybody to get his address because there's too many psychos around. Sure.
This Dr. Fred dumb fuck that is, trolling these spaces. You think you want them to have your address? Nah, it's not worth it for making $2 on a t-shirt when I'm really just having fun with my friends and producing stuff that people get a kick out of. But those are my answers. And, Red Panda Man, I hope you find peace. This is all just one big fucking deflection.
Thank you for that, brother.
One big deflection move. All right, guys, that's all I got.
Just fucking 3 minutes straight of just incriminating yourself more. Thanks, brother.
Jesus Christ, dude. And that's why I don't really shit on Jeremy so much every time. And also because Fettuccine, our Uplifting Tweets, has told me to calm down on that because he's friends with Jeremy. To be real, because he's my brother.
Yeah, so this is directed harassment. Like, okay, leave that person alone because they're okay, but you can attack other people. Jesus Christ. Toxic world, this stuff. And of course, we have John from the Black Vault, who just called Lue Elizondo hanging out with this Uplifting Tweets guy cringe, right? Oh, it's just one of those things, right? And I want to show you some of this Uplifting Tweets artwork that Lue Elizondo is thanking him for all that he does. These are all critics of Lue Elizondo, who are getting the meme treatment. Let's try to threaten and intimidate them and harass them into silence. This is one of those things, like, they go so far because they're trying to make the people that are speaking out against, in my opinion, they're trying to make the people that are speaking out against the fake Pentagon UFO program director go, it's just not worth it. These people are complete and total psychopaths. So I'm just going to shut up. Don't shut up. Speak louder. There's that saying, always speak out, even if your voice shakes while you're doing it. This is the artwork. And while we're on the subject of Lue Elizondo, alien scientist is here, and he said he was watching J.D. Vance take tampon tin to the mat or something like that. Yeah, and it's funny. I realized, I'm like, why are the live viewers so low tonight? The vice presidential debate is on right at the time that we're broadcasting. Maybe a stupid move on my part. Maybe I should have done this show yesterday. So I want to talk about the faceless bureaucrat account, because there's been multiple confirmations that the faceless bureaucrat account belonged to Lue Elizondo, who would use it to threaten, intimidate. Well, I don't know about threaten, but let's just say go after his critics. He would use it to go after his critics. Let's see. We're going to go through some of these. Here is Faceless Bureaucrat, which is actually Lue Elizondo's fake sock puppet account, going after one of his big critics, Mick West. And he says, oh, but of course you do. And your qualifications are video game developer. Okay, I see your point. Not. So he doesn't condone harassment of people that you disagree with, but yet here he is on a sock puppet account, basically harassing one of his big critics, right? It's so stupid. This is all so stupid. And by the way, I have all of these Faceless Bureaucrat tweets where he's attacking his critics. Simon says, another person with UFO fatigue. It's the lack of answers to too many questions. Simon, feel free to take the podium if you have any more to offer. Fatigue, please. You have no idea the concept of fatigue. Over to you, bro. And then here's where he screws up, because this is all in a Lue Elizondo thread. And somebody says, bravo to Lue Elizondo for the very professional camera setup here. Great lighting. Hidden mic and overall excellent look. I might suggest IFB earpiece to bring in those interviews. Ditch the headset, Lue Elizondo. And Faceless Bureaucrat says, copy that. Any suggestions on earpieces? This is more confirmation. Lue Elizondo screwed up. He forgot he was still on his sock puppet account when replying to that person telling Lue Elizondo to get an earpiece. Oh, great. Yeah. Do you have any suggestions for those earpieces? And by the way, Disclosure Mike has been confirming in spaces that Lue Elizondo on the Faceless Bureaucrat account messaged his wife saying, I use this account sometimes. UFO detective Dogbert says, why did they set up a consulting firm or give money to charity? Come on, these dudes are pushing for alien disclosure so they can position themselves to profit from increased government spending on the UAP issue. And yet we haven't even had evidence of what UAPs are. And the Faceless Bureaucrat, this is Lue Elizondo's sock puppet account, says, dude, you seriously have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You must be a Mick West fake account. You are speaking complete nonsense. Once it comes out of what Skyfort is, and it will, you will have to change your Twitter handle to something different. So the man who just came out and said, I don't condone people harassing critics, is literally harassing critics hiding behind a fake sock account like a pussy, right? What a pussy this guy is. Yeah, I don't know about that. somebody's suggesting Mr. Elizondo may have alcohol problems. That's something that I've struggled with myself, so I would never disparage somebody for having those kind of issues. And again, here he is again fighting with his critics. Fighting with his critics behind a fake sock account like a coward. Nick, don't know how to tell you this, saying Elizondo was unfamiliar. You do realize he is the one that initiated the release of the video in the first place, don't you? Methinks you know too little about it. And then Steve Boz says, is this faceless bureaucrat actually Lue Elizondo? And Mick West says, that's certainly what it looks like. So, people were aware that Lue Elizondo was pretending to be somebody else to defend himself, right? A journalist. Wow, sounds awesome. I bet if you asked a pointed question about providing evidence or needing a direct answer, you'll fall back on, well, my NDA excuse. And here, faceless bureaucrat attacking a critic who had something negative to say about Lue Elizondo. So, yeah, or perhaps he doesn't want to go to jail for the rest of his life. Or maybe he's a man of his word and won't betray his oath to his country or the American people, something you wouldn't understand. And then he threatens that person with violence. Why don't you just meet him at TTSA in Encinitas, California, if you feel so bold? The address is well known. I bet you $1 million he would be happy to engage you. That's basically a threat of physical violence against a critic. And that threat of physical violence against a critic was sent by Lue Elizondo on a sock puppet account because he's a pussy. Pussy Zondo, right? All right. Let's see. We'll do a few more of these just for fun. And by the way, I'll be releasing this entire archive of faceless bureaucrat mean tweets at people. If you read one of them, you've read all of them. There's zero new worthwhile information being broken by any of these meeting outlets. And here's faceless bureaucrat Lue Elizondo. And what precisely have you done as far as accomplishments other than sit in your armchair in your mom's basement, probably in your underwear? Oh, okay, I see. Nothing. Thanks for your comments. So here he is attacking somebody who says they never have new information, which is an accurate critique. I'm not sure who he's attacking somebody that doesn't have credentials. What are your credentials? Oh, you don't have any because somebody disagreed with an analysis of his stupid UFO videos that mean nothing. Coming soon, classic TTA bullshit. So as all you do here is heckle, why do you follow Lue? Seems like you are a carnival barker or the lonely kid in the back of the classroom itching for attention. Don't you have anything better to do? Like get a job, hug your kids, or read a book? This is all a form of harassment against Lue's critics being sent by Lue Elizondo on a fake account like a pussy. Agree, skeptics aren't necessarily wrong, just means we have to work harder to explain or prove our perspectives. The boat should be big enough for all to fit, unless you are a purposeful agitator. In that case, there are some hungry sharks to feed. Let's feed the critics to the sharks. Great, Lue Elizondo, you coward. Lue, I love you, and I hate to be negative, but there are some real kooks on here. Yes, but we all always have to remember we are kooks. That's why mutual respect is important in all communications between camps. Mutual respect as he's going after, here's Joe. I bet you $1 million Lue would scoop you up and give you a warm blanket and his seat. Yeah, okay. Do you see a professional to help you through your issues? If not, I recommend you do. You might be surprised. Help you cope with life and your anger better. Colton, I would recommend you go back to playing your Xbox and change your Twitter name because soon you will be the butt of many, many jokes. So, there's all of these. This guy spent all of his time arguing with his critics on a fake Twitter sock account, but now he's saying, don't threaten or intimidate people. You have to be respectful. Is it respectful? Is it respectful to go on a fake account and defend the honor that you so desperately want for yourself? Right? It's just so stupid. This is all so stupid. We'll go through a couple more. Oh, and he's agreeing. He's on this fake account agreeing with Christopher Mellon. He's trying to artificially amplify their stupid message. Ever wondered what my face would look like on Lue Elizondo? I left technology. You look better than Lue, and I say that with love. That's pretty stupid and creepy. Here he is attacking Mick West again. Please stop the BS speculation and nonsense. You have no clue what you were talking about here. Seriously, you are being absurd and completely uninformed. Gimbal and Go Fast videos are probably now used as training videos. I think they can tell that Fleer 1 made no sudden moves. I think that they determined at least as much as I have. Yeah. That those videos are not what Lue Elizondo portrayed them to be. And so Mick West bust those videos as not what Lue Elizondo pretended them to be, which is alien spaceships. And faceless bureaucrat Lue Elizondo on his stock account had to go attack Mick West for pointing out the actual truth. You know why? Because people thinking, well, those videos aren't really what they pretend to be. Oh, here he is going after Goofon. Somebody's attacking his 3 blurry videos. Disclosure means something different for everybody. Roll on the other account. Yeah. Anyone verify this? Definitely not true. Pence had nothing to do with it. It was other folks who shall remain nameless for now, but I assure you, not Pence. Somebody killing disclosure efforts. Ah, yes, Colton, such a witty response to someone's sincere idea. I haven't heard from you in a while. Have you been ruminating on a clever response for this long? Somebody told Lue Elizondo to shut up, so he jumps on his fake account to go attack that person like a coward. What a spineless jellyfish of a man, right? 4 foot tall. Jesus, this guy is something else. This is your hero of disclosure. You know, and just think about it. Oh, here he is thanking people who are saying nice things. So he used the fake account to thank people who said nice things. I bet Lue will do any media that is willing to take a risk and talk about the subject. He is apolitical, no different than a liberal doing an interview on a conservative show. Lue went on with Glenn Beck, clearly a nutjob and a racist, calls Trump a prophet, and he's defending him going on with these right-wing nutbags. It's just wonderful. He's got to use a fake account to defend himself. What about the literally thousands of ghost stories, says Mick West, and faceless bureaucrat? And what about the seagull stories? Ah, the humanity. Can't ever go to the beach again with a sandwich without fear of mixed seagulls. Why, oh, why? He really didn't like Mick West busting those videos as fake. Yeah, so somebody asks Lue Elizondo a question, and Lue on his fake account says, I bet you anything Elizondo has read this tweet and is figuring out an appropriate answer. I will also bet it is pretty relevant post that you just made. No, it's not. He says, I think Lue is pretty, you got to love, he's talking about himself. I think Lue is pretty blue collar himself, according to his recent interview. Blue collar is nothing to be ashamed about. He's praising himself. Lue Elizondo is here literally praising himself on his fake account for how blue collar and wonderful he is. What a scumbag, man. I'm going to be faceless truth seeker. That's going to be my new thing. So I'm going to start a new account. I'm going to call it Faceless Truth Seeker. And every time somebody talks shit on me, I'm going to go after them. And every time somebody says nice things about me, I'm going to retweet them and tell them how wonderful they are to say nice things about Stephen Cambion, right? It worked for Lue Elizondo. Never forget what's triggered the gross fake accusations against you. Yeah, so we have some victims of this UFO hate group. Many of them are in the live chat this evening. Let's see. 1 second. Oh, I got to switch over here so you can see this bigger. Deception or not, that is the question. Concerning Lue Elizondo, I don't trust the guy since I caught him lying. Anyway, whatever the plan is, it will unfold. And faceless bureaucrat. Lying about what? You can't say Lue Elizondo lied on Twitter or he'll come after you with his fake sock puppet account, right? 5x5 News. I would say TTSA is fake news. That is a bit much. They just screwed up and can't figure out how to correct it. Maybe they should just science up. You mean like you 5x5 as in use the same scientific methods you do? Oh, wait, you haven't listed any. So I guess TTSA will have to use the one real scientists use. So faceless bureaucrat, if you were critical of TTSA or Christopher Mellon or Lue Elizondo, he would come after you. 5x5 is smarter than the DOD and the intelligence community. Hey, he should run for president because he clearly knows better than the thousands in our government. Thanks for enlightening us. And it just goes on and on. He would attack all of his people. And here he retweets 5x5 who says, all 3 UAP videos released by TTSA have been debunked by several researchers now. And faceless bureaucrat attacks him. Yeah, hire UM West so we can prove that all the aircraft are just big seagulls flying thousands of miles away from any landmass and an altitude of 13,000 feet. This is crazy. And look at how many more. It's just ridiculous that this clown, Lue Elizondo, sat on a fake Twitter account. You know, it's just so childish, right? It's so childish and so stupid. I firmly believe Lue told Tom that story, as Tom stated a few times. Lue said, yeah. It's been crazy disinfo wars for years now. And that's what this is. This is perception management. This man is a trained counterintelligence agent, and he's using a fake sock puppet account to argue with his critics and tell people who are critical of him and his fake-ass, stupid, worthless videos, you're wrong. These are aliens. And imagine, you know, the childishness. Like, how childlike of a man do you have to be to say, like, man, you know what? People are talking shit on me on Twitter. I'm not having this. I'm gonna have to go after these people with my sock puppet accounts. We cannot allow people to be critical of me on the internet. I'm going to go after them with my sock puppet accounts. And speaking of sock puppet accounts, I have you know what? That's too long of a video. It's like 9 minutes long. You've seen it before where it's Lue Elizondo and his sock puppets talking to each other. Yeah. It's just so stupid. But the thing about the ego that this guy's got to have and what a narcissist he's got to be to see people on Twitter that he disagrees with. And he wants Lue Elizondo to be this hero, squeaky clean figure, right? And he wants for people to think of him as like, you know, the disclosure boner bro hero somehow. So he can't be seen as being like vengeful or, you know, narcissistic. So he just creates a fake account in order to argue with all his critics like a child, right? It's all so stupid. And it's also absolutely ridiculous. And we've seen the quality of the people that he's rewarding. And I said tonight's my opinion piece. In my opinion, Lue Elizondo has, you know what? I will play this Rather Be Squidding, which is another person that got attacked by this UFO hate group. See, after watching this video, if you could figure out why Lue Elizondo's hate squad UFO hate group may have gone after this guy, Rather Be Squidding.
It's clear to me now that Lue Elizondo is deceiving and manipulating the community. I mean, 100%. He admitted to that on our interview Friday by using sock puppet accounts to manipulate and deceive us. Which, I mean, So how can you trust someone who is going to go and create a secret account? Not only just create a secret account and post on it, but he creates these in groups and out groups of people who are in on the secret, and then he shares this special knowledge with them and really gets them to go out and attack his critics. We can't see what the tweets that he posted under these sock puppets anymore because they've been deleted. But, he made it seem like on the interview that he was just responding to people who are doing personal attacks on his family. That's a load of BS. There wasn't really any attacks on his family before this whole Who's Lue documentary started. And that was after he deleted his sock puppet account. He was using that account to attack people like Mick West and Stephen Greenstreet and, rile people up and sow division. And to what end is really my question now. Why he says that his audience isn't UFO Twitter. If his audience isn't UFO Twitter, why does he have multiple sock puppet accounts engaging with UFO Twitter and doing all of this nonsense? Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm at a loss, really.
Yeah, and I completely agree with this person, and credit to Rather Be Squidding and UCR for asking those questions where he basically had to all but admit, and there have been several confirmations since then. This LM whistleblower, Disclosure Tonight scumbag show, he was working there, and he said that the faceless bureaucrat, I believe he said, was Lue Elizondo. Then we've got with Disclosure Mike, who also said that the faceless bureaucrat account was messaging his wife and admitted, Lue Elizondo said, "Oh, I use this account sometimes." So what we've got is clear-cut, proof that this guy is manipulating people and using these Twitter accounts to sort of shape the conversation, right? We can't have like, real dialogue, right? And this is why he won't do a real interview, because he's an intellectual weakling and a coward. And he can't withstand real questions about all the scammy, scummy shit that he's been involved in since 2017. But that reminds me of something funny I wanted to share.
What's the most compelling modern thing that you've seen?
Oh my God, Joe, I can't talk about it, but let me say this. One night, me and a bunch of the guys are playing strip poker, and all of a sudden I lose. So here I am, walking around base in high heels along the outskirts, and everyone...
Oh, that sounds crazy.
So here I am, walking around base in high heels along the outskirts.
I am not saying you're crazy, just the story.
No, you're good. And all of a sudden, this massive black craft floats above us, and I stop and stare at this craft, and next thing I know, I'm on the craft. And all these aliens are having their way with me. It was a horrible experience, and I have the scars to prove it.
So these beings did butt stuff?
Yes. Oh man, Joe. Among many other fucked up things. I still can't sit comfortably, but that's a story for another day. As for the ass play, I really can't get into it because I am under contract to keep quiet. I can lose my top secret clearance, and I need that to keep my grift game going. I'm sure you can respect that.
Absolutely. Still digesting the butt stuff. Christ, Lou, the pain. You're dealing with good God, brother. It's tough.
Well, thank you for being so open-minded, Joe. That's why I came on your show today. You just want to listen, and I really needed that today. Sometimes I sit in the dark and just cry.
So these beings did butt stuff.
Oh my God, I can't talk about it, unfortunately. This is my frustration, Joe, because I know what I've seen. I know what my colleagues have seen, right? And to this day, there's video that's coming in on a regular routine basis that is very, very compelling.
Very compelling butt stuff. Yeah. And I happened to find that sock puppet thing. I made comedy out of it. And this is comedy made out of how ridiculous it is that this former military guy is like talking to himself in Twitter threads like a lunatic, right? And this is the guy who's going to bring us disclosure. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid.
That's what I do. I'm going to sit my sock puppets. My sock puppets are here. We got faceless bureaucrat. Hi. And we got, and we got faceless whistleblower. Hi. Yeah, listen, what are you going to do to these clowns on the internet, faceless bureaucrat? Well, I'm going to smack the shit out of them, for one, especially that Stephen Greenstreet. He looks funny. Yeah, he does. What about you, faceless whistleblower? I'm going to dox them. I'm going to dox all those assholes, and then I'm going to threaten their family like an asshole. And then we'll get the Fister Goon Squad after them. And then we're all going to... I'm not sure. What should we do? Lue Elizondo? Well, I think we ought to get him. That's what I think. We ought to just attack them with the Twitter fake accounts of mine. And these are not my fake accounts. These are my friends, right? These are my look. I got some real friends coming over next week, right? Yeah. Wait, you got real friends coming over, or are they imaginary? No, real friends. I don't have imaginary friends. Okay, faceless whistleblower. I don't have imaginary friends. Yeah, listen to who you're telling that to. Oh, we're sock puppets. Yes. Yeah, and we're gonna get those critics. We're gonna fuck them up. Yeah, we ain't gonna let this shit continue. Yeah, we're gonna get them. All you people better stop talking shit on Lue Elizondo, okay? He's got a book to sell, and he does not appreciate you asshole researchers on the internet figuring out how much he lies. Yeah, we're tired of this shit. We're coming after you. Stephen Greenstreet, Jack Brewer, oh man, all of you. John from the Black Vault, Steve Cavian, we're gonna get you. Yeah, we're gonna get him. Don't worry, Lou. We love you. We love you, Lou. We won't let anybody talk shit on you on the internet anymore. We love you, Lou. Yeah, Lou. You're a bro, bud. Me and you go way back. Since you were pissing your pants. Yeah, we're gonna get these clowns. We ain't gonna let them talk shit on you no more. Good, guys. I feel better because I'm gonna cry if these assholes keep talking shit on me on Twitter. Don't worry, Lou. We'll get them for you. Yeah, we'll get them. So see, you clowns are in for it now because I got some friends on Twitter that are going to come after you if you keep talking your smack on.
Oh man. I don't know how many times I've used that clip, but it's not enough. You know, this grown man using fake sock puppets, and I thought it was appropriate to use sock puppets to do this comedy bit, right? Aliens Are Sus says Draco's banged him after reading about him in Wilcox's diary of dudes he'd bang, and it all came out on the Joe Rogan podcast. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah. Stephen Greer mask is the wildest. Do you know that's like the second or third one that I tried to make? I don't know. There's just something about some of those masks that I make really nail the character. I got to try again in the case of Lue Elizondo. I still want to work on this project where it's all these guys at a UFO convention, but they're telling the truth, and we're going to use the masks to do it, right? Jason Sand says he knows those puppets. He worked with them on Mars. Yeah, a likely story, right? So, listen, we're going to call this one a quick one. I don't know what else to say about this UFO hate group. These are a bunch of psychopathic, disgusting people. Oh, and let's put this on the record. Apparently, King Milkfart was charged with domestic violence, right? He claims he threw a table or something in the middle of an argument with a domestic partner. And isn't it just like, I don't know, isn't it funny that one of Lue Elizondo's biggest attack dogs literally works for a sewage company? That's what King Milkfart does. His mom and his stepdad run a sewage company, and he works there. And when he's supposed to be working, he's on Twitter attacking all of these critics. It's just perfect that one of Lue Elizondo's biggest supporters works for a shit company. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Someday somebody's going to have to make a comedy about all of this because this is how stupid this is. 1 second. Somebody is sending me, Jeremy Rise sent me something. Oh, okay. This is a good video. Here, we'll share this one. Thank you. This is transformative work. We'll discuss the video that we're sharing. I love this guy on Breaking Bad.
One of the best ways to drain people's energy nowadays is via the internet. This woman is an astrophysicist. Actually, this is not how space works. These are all different accounts that I have set up. The energy you get this way isn't quite as pure, but if you do enough of it, it'll fill you up. Shanghai. Where was the Chinatown?
It's surprisingly simple to get total strangers completely furious with you.
They should get a life. When they call you a dumbass, you know you've got them. They called me a dumbass.
You know you've got them. That's like Lou sitting around with all these different stuff, right? The truth is gross sometimes, Arlene. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Trolley Troll Troll wants me to stand up and show the whole shirt. Yeah, this came from Trolley Troll Troll. And I'm violating the basic rule of my show, which is I only wear black shirts. But this is from the Roswell, New Mexico Festival, and it says, "Ask me about my butthole." And I got quite a laugh out of our cash clown because I said, "Hey, Xavier, read my shirt." And he reads it, and he's like, "Am I supposed to ask you about your butt?" What? Yeah, so I guess they didn't have it in black, so Trolley Troll Troll sent me this. I actually do wear colored shirts outside of this show. Generally, though, I wear black all the time. A long time ago, I figured out that if you just wear, I was not a fashion guy, and you want to look good, just wear black. It's timeless, and you don't have to color coordinate, right? So we'll take some comments and questions from the live chat. I apologize. I thought we were going to have a couple of guests tonight to talk about their experiences with the UFO hate group. Invited a few people, was basically told that they don't want to invite more harassment, threats, and yeah. Oh, some of these people in my comments. Oh, I forgot. We have to do our due diligence. I want to thank ML for a kind and generous $10 super chat. Says, "I know it's not much, but in the context of the fact that I'm broke, it means more. Keep up the great work. Love your passion." Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. And I agree with you 100%. You know, there's a thing in the Bible, ML, where it basically says that if a rich person gave to the synagogue, you know, thousands of dollars, it doesn't mean as much as a poor person giving to the synagogue. I'm not relating us to a synagogue, but you know what I mean. It's a biblical principle that it means more from somebody that doesn't have much. So we definitely appreciate your kindness, generosity, and support very much. Thank you. And we have Tales of the Sonic Voyage. Thanks, Stephen, for all your hard work. You've been a big inspiration to me and my work. Yes, I got that message from you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thanks for appreciating us. Longtime show supporter and YouTube channel member, Tales of the Sonic Voyage. Thank you. All right, and I've got some good news, and that is tonight I will be finishing the new in-person live set, which is directly in front of me, but it's a mess in here, so I don't want to turn the camera around. I realized that I have been light on Patreon and members videos, so after I conclude tonight's broadcast, I'm going to get that backdrop up, and I'm going to make a video showing everybody the new set. It's not very impressive, I mean, but there's 2 chairs, 2 microphones, and a laptop, and it's directly in front of me. So, I mean, we could even do something where I'm still sitting at the desk, but the guests are over there, maybe. I don't know what the camera setup situation is going to be like that. But thank you, Tales of the Sonic Voyage. And Red Panda Koala, it's a shame how many people are intimidated into silence. Well, that's it. You know, I was told, and I can tell you off air, Red Panda, who said that. But they basically said, like, I'd love to help you with your show. But every time I talk about this, I get another round of it. And you know what I said to that, Red Panda? What I said is, in my view, the harassment and threats stop when they realize that nothing that they do will shut you up. Worked for me anyway. They go find weaker victims that they can actually affect. And I'll read you this person's message. You can tell people tonight that your guest has been stalked so much that they are afraid to speak out. I had memes made about me. Messages were sent to my cell phone asking if I was sky watching outside in the dark tonight. Fake accounts were made of me. Fuck these people. I'm not going through all of that again. And for the people who attacked me back then, who now pretend like they knew it all along. So, yeah, people are still being threatened and intimidated into silence. And it's incredible how many of these people are still out there threatening and harassing people. But it has been good. And by the way, I want to shout out and thank Chupacabra and Red Panda Koala for a lot of the stuff that came out in spaces. They get people in these spaces and they grill them. What did you know? Did you know Thomas Fessler was threatening people? Did you know Thomas Fessler was directing people to be threatened, intimidated, harassed? We heard from this LM. They threatened his wife, who is a judge, because apparently or allegedly he would not use those legal databases to help them find dirt on the people that they wanted to attack. They try to manipulate him into doing it. Crazy. Ice Rain J with a kind and generous $10 says, I don't always agree with you, but I listen for your point of view as I try with all points of data. Definitely enjoy the entertainment. Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We appreciate you, Ice Rain J. And just so you know, I listen to believer shows because I try to just let me understand this from their perspective. But most of the time I'm left puzzled and feeling like, okay, so it's just a faith-based belief system and there's no actual evidence of what many of these people believe. But I think that's a good thing to do. Listen to all points of view and then make your decision about what you believe. Thank you, Ice Ranger. Yes, thank you very much. And we want to take a moment to thank you kind and generous PayPal pledgers, you YouTube channel members, you Twitch subscribers. Did you know that's a thing? You can go subscribe to me on Twitch if you're if you have an account with if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can become a Twitch subscriber for free. Subscribe to one Twitch account per month for free. And many people are doing that. So we're getting money from Jeff Bezos. He's got plenty. So it's a good way to support the show. It will cost you nothing. I have a video on how to do that, but I haven't played it in ages. We'll have to make a point of finding that. Now, also, we have a merchandise store where you can buy some shirts or swag or cell phone case. And I'm going to try to start promoting that more. I feel bad because there's a person that helped me with all of that and we haven't sold very much. So they did all that. And then the money just isn't really there for them to continue to, deal with it. But we'll see what we can't do to improve that situation. Also want to remind you, Patreon and YouTube channel subscribers, that you can look forward to not one, but two new videos in the next, night or tomorrow night. I apologize for being light on those things. I'm going to try my very best to do at least one a week for you Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. And for those unaware, you get the same benefits, but on the YouTube side, you get some extra goodies. Take a moment to thank Trolly Troll Troll and also thank Trolly Troll Troll for the shirt. Yeah, ask me about my butthole. My wife has forbid me from wearing this to pick up my sons on the bus, though. Just so you know, she's like, "Oh my God, don't you wear that outside when you're with the kids?" I'm like, "Okay, honey, I won't." But thank you for your kindness and sending me a nice gift after your Roswell visit, and thanks for helping us to praise the cash. And I just realized what a terrible show host I am. For those unaware, we had a wonderful, mysterious benefactor who sent a huge PayPal pledge. Huge. They want to remain anonymous. I'm just calling them our mysterious benefactor. And I was supposed to read a message. This guy sent like a huge amount of money through PayPal. Huge. Like I fell off my chair when I seen that PayPal pledge. I thought, is this pesos or like Mexican ruble or Russian rubles? This can't be dollars, but it was dollars. And it's the message they want me to read is on my phone, which I didn't bring in here with me tonight. So I apologize to that person, and I will be doing a very special segment. I have a whole segment planned to thank that person because their huge gift finally forced me to finish some things. I needed like a couple $100 worth of microphones and stands and other stuff to do this in-person guest set that we've been planning for a while. And I just never, I don't like the money in the account to go down too much, you know, or to be spending too much at once. But anyway, because of this huge PayPal pledge, I went, well, I got to get that stuff and finish this. And besides, I wanted to be able to show that person that your gift to our show here really made a difference. We're finally going to have that in-person set done. We've got the chair over here and the polygraph. We're going to start hooking suckers up. Like, for those unaware, we're doing a new version of the show, which is going to be a little different in that the guest will be right here in this studio with me. And I have a few experiencers lined up. In other words, people who have strange or unusual experiences. One of them is experiencing ghost orbs and maybe aliens and some other stuff. He's sort of a paranormal magnet. And then the other person has been a guest here who claims that he's experiencing non-human entities communicating with him through EVPs, even to the point where they're giving him lottery information and he's winning lotteries. So we're going to bring these people here. We're going to hear their story. And then I'm going to hook them up to the polygraph. And right here live, we'll ask them all the questions on the polygraph. And then I will tell everybody the results. Is this person telling the truth? Or are they lying about these strange paranormal experiences that they claim that they are having? We are Stephen from Canada. Did you send me that wackadoo shirt? No, I did not. Make sure you, I don't know where to send it to. Message me. Or how about this? It's easier for me to just PayPal you whatever that shirt costs. Pick whatever shirt you want on the store. Shirt on the merchandise store. And then message me your PayPal email address. It'd be much easier for me to just give you the money and you can order it on Amazon and you still get the shirt free with a thank you. We Are Stephen Canada won an award for finding me a video. Somebody was posting still images, for those unaware, of David Wilcock's wife doing cucumber dealing videos, like somebody pleasuring themselves with a cucumber. And I wanted to find that video to see, is this for real? And We Are Stephen found it. He must be something of a porn connoisseur because, I mean, 4 minutes after I asked for it, it was in my inbox. And my eyeballs have still not recovered from viewing David Wilcock's wife telling people how to dill themselves with a cucumber, right? She gave detailed instructions, but thank you, We Are Stephen from Canada.
Raise the cash.
I did offer a prize, and you're right, I owe you a shirt. So email me at truthseekershow@gmail.com, and I will get that PayPal funds to you. If you can't do that, I'll see if I can't order it myself and just drop ship it to you. But I'd rather just send you the money. This way you get it right to your door. It'll be there in 2 days. All right. We'll take a couple of comments and questions from the live chat before we bounce on out of here. Mr. Sauce showing a cucumber. Yes. Tales of the Sonic Voyage is crying. I'm crying from having to watch David Wilcock make this woman dildo herself with a cucumber. It was traumatic. Lottery is a competition for the psychics. Yes, the cucumber story. Absolutely. I'm banging a moldy cantaloupe right now. Nothing different. Well, that's kind of gross, Mr. Sauce. Yeah, you guys are something else, right? Arlene Atkins said, I would fail a polygraph no matter how truthful I was. I am a nervous person through and through. Yeah, I've been hooked up before, but that was for job-related purposes. I worked someplace where the security was so high that they give employees polygraphs. Can't wait for the first polygraph episode. Me too. I'm looking forward to it. I've been practicing my polygraph examiner skills and my calibrations. You know, you have to calibrate it first with some control questions. What's your name? Where did you grow up? Make sure you tell me the truth. Now I want you to lie to me. You know, tell me that your name is, you know, Elon Musk or whatever. And you calibrate the machine and the sensors, and then you're off to the races. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I've had that polygraph for a while, but I'm glad Operation Shutdown that I took the time with it. I didn't want to I just got a polygraph. Let's start hooking people up. So I've been trying to practice with it and, you know, make sure that I'm reading it correctly. Steven says we need Truth Seekers trading cards. And man, they're going to make me do Truth Seekers playing cards. You guys with the you shoulds, right? And by the way, somebody named Harsh, shout out to Harsh, messaged me that they're a script writer and I should write scripts. Craig Capel is on Twitter saying, one day Elizondo will send angels to your bed while you sleep, while your remote views you in the shower. I believe that. Yeah. And by the way, people are very upset with me. I'm going to share why. I just want to say that I pray for peace. Every day I pray for peace. But it looks like the whole earth is becoming more and more warlike, and more wars are breaking out, and current wars are expanding into other territories and new actors. But this guy kind of triggered me. Uri Geller is talking about the Israel being under ballistic missile attack. Hundreds of missiles are exploding all over, including Tel Aviv. Thank God our Iron Dome is shooting them down. An hour ago, 2 terrorists here in Jaffa murdered 8 people in cold blood. And that is very sad and very, very terrible. But I did this. I retweeted it and asked, why doesn't he stop the missiles with his superpowers? Oh, that's right, because the superpowers are fake. So there's people in the tweet thread very upset about me, saying I'm being insensitive to the plight of the people there. So I apologize. This was not in good taste. But it is a good question. Why doesn't he stop the missiles with his superpowers? For those unaware, Uri Geller claimed that he has a whole host, a multitude of superpowers. But it turns out he's just a magician doing children's magic tricks most of the time. Maybe someday we're going to do an episode exposing a lot of them. Al Garay says, ever since David Wilcock started his global peace meditations, we have had more wars. 100% true. 100% true. Aliens are sus says, Cucumber Woman, she used to work Wilcock's Brown Ring portal with that cute. Oh, I should have shared that one. All right. Yuri Smeller, yes. Arlene says, my late husband had to take one when he got the Pentagon. He said he could have lied his tail off and been fine. Oh, that's interesting. Midwest says, are ghosts and entities mindful of people's privacy? Do they ever harass someone while they're not able to relieve themselves? That's a good question, right? That's a good question. What can ghosts just see anything? Then that kind of implies like godlike powers. I'm very confused by ghosts. And, you know, most of me thinks as a Christian and having all this Bible scripture study that people can't communicate with the dead. The dead are forbidden from communicating. According to biblical principles and Christian principles, the dead are forbidden from communicating with the living except for one person or one purpose, and that is to appeal for prayers to get out of purgatory and get into heaven. So all these mediums who claim they're talking to your dead relatives, according to the Bible, they can't. And your dead relatives can't communicate with a medium except to ask for prayers to get out of purgatory. And there's also a lot of information that may seem to indicate that when people think they're talking to a dead relative or a human ghost, they're actually talking to a demon who is masquerading as that, which is very, very scary, right? Science evidence infringed. Maybe it doesn't work if they can't get the money. Yeah. And Arlene Atkins, why don't all these folks with superpowers and healing powers go clear out children's hospitals? Good, excellent point. Yeah. Yeah. So tonight, I want to thank everybody for attending, even though we had pretty low attendance. I think a lot of people are very interested in that vice presidential debate. I kind of thought, oh, we'll be fine. Well, we had a lot less viewers than usual. But I will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope that you'll be here with us. No place I would rather be. So tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I believe we're going to be talking Bob Lazar with a special guest Grider, who has some new Bob Lazar and George Knapp information to share, new research to share about Bob Lazar and George Knapp. And you guys know I'm trying to slowly make a documentary. It's going the slowest project I've ever worked on in my life because I just don't have time to really get too much done on it lately. But I'm hopeful that we'll have some new little tidbits that we could add to our project. And tomorrow night we'll be filming the interview. It'll be live, but I can use bits of it if there are indeed some new revelations about Bob Lazar. And yeah, We Are Steven, use my pimp model meme. I will do that. It's in the live chat. Plan D is here and says, awesome adventures only here on Truth Seekers. You know it, Plan D, my French friend. So we've done our due diligence. I don't know what else I could say about this UFO hate group and Lue Elizondo, except that it's childish and it's ridiculous. And it's a total move of hypocrisy for this man, Lue Elizondo, to say, I don't condone this harassment the very same week that he's hanging out with one of the serial harassers at Busch Gardens, right? So stupid. But it is what it is, and this is where we're at, and this is where we find ourselves. But for now, I'm going to find myself signing off. So that's all I got for you, friends. I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you'll be here with us. Until next time, friends, my name is Stephen Canby, and good night, and God bless all of you.